Welcome to today's class. I am so glad you're here. Today's class is all about uplifting our heart and with that our spirits. Physically, so think of the space of your rib cage, the heart sitting on top of your diaphragm, encased in the pericardium, and part of our fascial core, our deep front line, the myofascial core body of ourselves. But also emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. What you need is your hands, your body, and the ground beneath you. We start by tuning into the breath. Take your hands to your ribs and begin to breathe into your hands. Notice how your rib cage expands as you breathe in and then retracts as you breathe out. Take a few more breaths here, centering mind and body. Relaxing the neck and the jaw and pelvic floor. Then take your hands, one hand on your heart space and one hand on your back if you can reach it. And then breathing in and out. And notice how your ribs, your rib cage expands to the front and the back, giving space to the heart, to the lungs. And then take your hands behind your head, interlace them, and give your head a little lift on the base of your skull. So you're drawing your spine up on the base of your skull. Your pelvis is centered. You may want to lift the pubic bone slightly up to maintain the centeredness of your pelvis. Take an inhale here. And then as you exhale, do a little side bend to the left, pushing your right foot into the ground. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, come back to center. Inhale, reach your hands upwards, so pulling your skull up. And then lift your pubic bone on sternum slightly up. And then as you exhale, you release. Inhale, a side bend to the right. Pushing the left foot into the ground, still pulling your head up into space. And then exhale, come back to center. Pubic bone lifts, sternum lifts, and the heart lifts. Take an inhale here. And then exhale, release. We continue with a roll down. Your pelvis is on top of your feet and centered. For some, it's more or less a lift in the front to find the light dynamic centeredness of the pelvis. And now slowly begin to nod your head. Open the base of the skull, the suboccipitals, and roll down in a slow, fluid manner. As you roll down, imagine the energy from your deep front line, so from the inner feet in behind your shin bones, inner thighs, is lifting you up like a fountain moving through the pelvic floor. And then it spills over as the spine flexes and continues to roll down. And then exhale, roll back up. Inhale here. And again, 2 or 3 nods with your head. And roll down, one continuous rolling down, maintaining the uprightness of your pelvis as long as possible. You can bend your knees if you need to take any tension out of the backs of the legs and allow for a deeper lumbar flexion. Now bend your knees, allow your belly to rest on the thighs, drop your head, and step back into an inverted V or downward facing dog. Or if you need to, you can come onto hands and knees straight away. From here, lift your heels and then roll forward. So tailbone to pubic bone to navel, navel to sternum, into a front support or plank pose. Hands under your shoulders. Hey, you fly. Drop your knees down, untuck your toes, and shift back and forward. As you shift back, the pelvic diaphragm, pelvic floor will slightly open by widening your sit bones. Shift back, maintaining the centeredness of the spine, the natural curves of the spine. Now take your hands underneath your shoulders. Pelvis is centered. Tilt your pelvis back. The rest of the spine follows. Your head drops. Take an inhale here, expanding your superficial backline three-dimensionally. The superficial front line supports you in the flexion of the spine. Shift back. You take the weight of your hands, take an inhale here, maintaining the lift of the pubic bone, and then center your pelvis, center the spine, and shift back forward. Let's do this again. Tilt your pelvis back, pubic bone lifts, deep front line, superficial front line, a positive tensioning of the superficial back line. Inhale here, and then exhale, shift back. Breathe in, center your pelvis as you exhale, and inhale, center again. Exhale, pelvis tilts, pubic bone lifts, the spine follows the flexion movement, vertebra by vertebra. Your shoulders are relaxed. You have space in between your collarbones. Take an inhale here, widening your superficial back line almost three-dimensionally. Exhale, shift back, angry cat. Stay with a strong engagement of the deep front line, superficial front line. Pubic bone lifts up. Inhale here, and then exhale, center the pelvis, center the spine, the head. Shift back forward. Tuck your toes. Move into an inverted V or downward facing dog. Take a moment to breathe into the rib cage three-dimensionally. Allow the neck to relax, your jaw. Pelvic organs are now unloaded. And now step forward, bending the knee. Allow your belly to rest on your thighs. Your head is relaxed. Find the ground underneath you. Extend the legs as much as comfortable for you, and then exhale, rolling back up into a standing position. The pelvis comes into an upright position first, and the spine follows, and you come into a standing. Now with the feet hip-width distance apart, the pelvis centered, spine elongated, and the knees softly and responsively extended, take your arms up on an exhalation. Turn your palms forward. Your arm bones are still sitting in the sockets in a relaxed, magnified manner without using your musculature to draw them strongly down. They're connected and they stay connected. Now reach from your fingers out. You span the tissues of your hands while keeping the connection of your humerus in the shoulder socket. Lift your pubic bone up, lift your sternum, take a deep in-breath. Reach and do a little back bend here. Inhale. And then exhale, double knee bend. And again, pubic bone lifts. Arms reach, they're connected to the shoulders. Lift your sternum, lift your heart. Inhale and exhale. And again, pubic bone lifts, sternum lifts, arms. And again. If you like, you can join me and swing your arms down and your head down. Inhale, reach, and exhale. And again, energizing, uplifting movement. And once more. Reach, lift, and allow the hands to come down. Take a breath in. Notice the new space you've created, the elevation and the lightness in your heart space, mind, body, spirit. Open your eyes. Enjoy your day. Thanks for being here.